Buckle up and follow Fabrizio Romano on social media because the January transfer marathon has just started. And as always, the transfer windows are the most exciting and action-packed times in a football season. And the 2024 January transfer window won't disappoint either. I mean, how can it possibly disappoint when it's already rumoured that Arsenal are going big for a superstar striker this window? Let's start with one of the most shocking news that's circulating in Spain. We're hearing stories about a Mason Greenwood's transfer to Barcelona. Who would have thought of that, really? Yes, ladies and gents, some reporters are claiming that Xavi is going after the English winger. And not only that, it's also being said that he'll be given the legendary number 10 shirt. Yes, Greenwood is a player that holds enormous potential, but we still think it's too early for him to wear the shirt, especially with all his dark history, which might affect the club's image and reputation. What do you think about the Greenwood case, by the way? Do you believe in second chances? Or do you think that what he did was just unforgivable? Anyway, let's move on to another shocking transfer, which might see the Blues captain leave his boyhood club. Yes, it is rumoured that Conor Gallagher might leave Chelsea as soon as this January. Gallagher has been a first-team mainstay for Chelsea this season, even captaining the team on several occasions, so it's outrageous that he might actually be leaving in January. The Blues are thought to be in need of a budget reconciliation following some large expenditure in the last 18 months, and Gallagher might be sold to help cover that. The England midfielder is said to be available for roughly £50 million, and he has been linked with a move to Tottenham Hotspur, Chelsea's London rivals. But do you know who's claiming to be joining the Blues? It's none other than Arsenal's goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale. The England international has been snubbed in favour of the newcomer David Raya, which definitely left him disappointed and itching to leave the club. Simultaneously, Chelsea is in dire need of a reliable goalkeeper, as Robert Sanchez is not performing on the required level. However, Rams could also opt to join Eddie Howe at Newcastle to replace the injured Nick Pope, although that might only be a short-term fix for his current situation at Arsenal all season. The infamous Jadon Sancho. Ten Hag and his player clashes strikes again. After publicly calling out Sancho's lack of discipline in training also means sacking Ten Hag, so who knows, right? Speaking of United, let's talk about the other fallout in that squad. This time, it's with former World Cup winner Raphael Varane, who is also reported to be in a quarrel with the Dutch manager. The defender's contract expires at the end of the season. Therefore, Manchester United may be drawn to sell him in January. The 30-year-old France international has been linked with a return to Real Madrid, although Bayern Munich is also allegedly interested. A transfer might be influenced by Manchester United's injury list, which currently includes a number of their defenders. Bayern Munich might be heavily involved in this window, as they also have unfinished business with Fulham. In the last summer transfer window, both clubs agreed on a transfer that would see the Portuguese holding midfielder João Palhinha moving to the German Giants. Everything was actually finished. Palhinha even travelled to Munich and had his medicals and even signed a contract. But the transfer collapsed last minute because of a paperwork problem. So, Tuchel might be coming back to sign him this window, but he'll have to watch out because both Arsenal and Liverpool are both very interested in his services. You might ask yourself why Arteta would be interested in signing another holding midfielder. He's got Partey and Rice. That's because the Ghanaian superstar might be calling it a day and leaving England for good. Injuries have restricted Thomas Partey's appearances for Arsenal this season, and with Mikel Arteta expected to trade players to bankroll January arrivals, the midfielders might be replaced. The 30-year-old is back in training after missing 2 months due to a muscular problem, and he has been associated with an exit to the Italian heavyweights Juventus. Now, we're down to the big dogs. Starting with the case of the Real Madrid legend Luka Modric. Age is finally catching up with the Croatian maestro, and more importantly, the arrival of super Jude Bellingham is depriving Modric from game time. He's still a hell of a good player, but you know how Florentino Perez is. He's always thinking ahead with no emotions, and with Bellingham, Camavinga, Valverde, Tchouaméni, Ceballos, Diaz, and of course Toni Kroos at his disposal, it's understandable that Luka might be the one leaving. He's been seen with David Beckham on multiple occasions, and it's reported that he might be moving into that La Liga reunion happening at Inter Miami. Now, we've got to talk about the striker situation in Arsenal. They're in dire need of a poacher, and that has been very evident in their recent games against Fulham and West Ham. Gabriel Jesus is not the man for them if they want to compete seriously for the title. But do you know who is? Arguably the most gifted striker in the scene right now. The Nigerian Eagle, Victor Osimhen. Following Napoli's historic title win last year, the club sacked Spalletti in mysterious conditions, and since then they don't look solid anymore. Furthermore, Osimhen himself is not happy at Napoli, especially after the TikTok fiasco that occurred a few months ago. So yeah, if Arteta manages to bag the Nigerian, it will be better than winning the lottery, as it's really complicated because of its hefty price tag. Last but certainly not least, the never-ending saga of every transfer window for the past 6 years might see its end in the next few days. Kylian Mbappe is free to talk to clubs during this winter, as his contract ends this year. But the scene is really foggy. Nobody knows what will happen. Will he finally join Real Madrid and fulfill his childhood dream? Or will he stay back at his home country for good to become a PSG legend? Finally, we will have our answer very soon. Because if he decides to snub Real Madrid one more time, Perez will go for the Viking that has been tearing England and Europe apart, Erling Haaland. There are some rumours about Liverpool entering that race for the French superstar, but to be honest, we think these are just rumours that will never lead to a move. But if he does, oh boy, that would be one of the most shocking transfers ever. What do you think he should do? Join Los Blancos and finally be a serious contender for the Ballon d'Or? Or stay at PSG and try to bring them their long-awaited UCL trophy home? Let us know in the comments, and also tell us what would be the most shocking transfer if it's actually materialized. Remember to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure to turn on bell notifications so that you never miss out on any new content. Catch you in the next one.